Lynne Sabean is with us. Lynne is the marketing manager at the Capitol Center for the Arts, a beautiful facility, beautiful theater in downtown Concord. Lynne, welcome back.
Pleasure to be here, Ken.
And always great to see you. And I know that you are coming into your busy season very, very soon.
We sure are. Since we last spoke, we announced Dream Theater. And they're a band that some people might remember from the 1980s. They have a new show called Dream Theater, The Astonishing Live. Tickets went on sale for that just last week. There's still some good seats available. We expect that it's going to sell out at some point, so fans of Dream Theater should give us a call and get their tickets. We also announced two shows today. The Robert Cray Band, which is a blues band. They've been around for about 40 years.
Yeah.
They're coming out with a new album at the end of the month where it's called Four Nights in 40 Years, where they've put together 30 years worth of material, 40 years into a new CD. And we also announced Dark Star Orchestra, which continues the Grateful Dead experience.
Wow. What a lineup. And not to mention the guest that we're going to be chatting with in just a few moments, singer-songwriter Josh Ritter, who has had some tremendous critical acclaim.
He really has. He's on the road. He's promoting his 8th album, I believe, called Sermon on the Rocks.
Wow.
And we're very pleased to have him coming on October 13th, which is a Thursday night.
So lots of exciting things, as always, happening at the Capitol Center for the Arts, and you can check them all out at ccanh.com and check out the new additions as well, as you mentioned, Robert Cray, the Dark Star Orchestra, and also Celtic Thunder, which is just around the corner too, which we talked about last time.
Celtic Thunder is coming up on Friday the 26th.
Absolutely. And how are the tickets going for that?
Tickets are going great. We have limited numbers of seats available, due in part to how great you guys were. I had him on as a guest last time.
Well, we're going to have Josh on in just a little while as well. And he sounds, just reading his bio here, and the fact that he's already recorded 8 full-length albums, he sounds like a very intriguing guy.
Intriguing and prolific.
We will have to find out. I did read here his new album is Sermon on the Rocks, and let's see. He says that he wrote it on the back porch, looking at an apple tree, and alternating coffee, bourbon, and ice water. Not a bad combination, I guess. I guess it did it for him anyway.
Some people's formula for success.
There you go. So we'll be interested in chatting with Josh in just a few minutes, right here on the Pulse. And so tell us what else is happening before we get a chance to talk to Josh here this afternoon. You talked about the new ads and Celtic Thunder, but a lot of other events coming up as well.
We sure do. On September 10th, we have Government Mule coming up. They're a great jam band. At the end of September, on September 24th, we have Buddy Guy, who is a blues legend as well.
Well, I tell you, you got a star-studded lineup.
We sure do.
And you have some theatrical events as well coming up.
We do. On November 3rd, we have Rent.
Great show.
Yeah. That is part of their 20th anniversary tour.
Ah, okay.
And
very good.
Next spring, we have another national tour for Pippin.
Oh, 2 great shows, Rent and Pippin. Love them both. Love the music from both of those shows. So that is a couple of events really to look forward to. No question about that. And, of course, the Spotlight Cafe as well at the Capitol Center for the Arts.
The Spotlight Cafe is held in our Governor's Hall, which is the first floor at the Capitol Center. And it's a great venue. It seats about 250 people. We have a lot of regional acts come in and up-and-coming national acts.
Yeah, absolutely so. And I know our good friend Lauren Rainbow is going to be there in the not-too-distant future.
She will. She'll be coming on Thursday, September 22nd, and Friday, September 23rd. Two evenings with Spirit.
Yes, indeed. And she is just incredible. If you haven't seen Lauren in person, you owe it to yourself to visit the Capitol Center for the Arts on one of those two nights, either September 22nd or September the 23rd. And again, the website is outstanding and a great place to find out all of the events that are going on. And you can also buy tickets on the website as well.
You sure can, and we're going to make it even easier for people to use our website. We're in the middle of a website design right now, so give us a few weeks, and it'll be even easier to find the shows that you want and get the tickets for them.
Absolutely. Well, that's always a good thing, and you can always visit the box office as well.
You sure can.
Yeah.
We're open right now Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 11 to 6, and after Labor Day, we'll have Saturday hours again.
Terrific. That is great. And what about for the kids? Anything coming up for the youngsters?
We have a lot of shows coming up from the kids. We have Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. We also have Laurie Berkner Live. And around the holiday time, there are also shows that are family appropriate.
Outstanding. So always something going on pretty much at the Capitol Center for the Arts.
It is. And even the shows that we don't market as family-friendly shows, a lot of them really are. You see people bringing their kids to go see the bands that they loved when they were younger and really teaching their children about the music that means something to them.
Yeah, isn't that something? I mean, and that is a great experience when you do that. I mean, I have a daughter that's 25 now, and I was thrilled just a few weeks ago to take her to see Paul McCartney. It was a thrill for me, I think, more than it was for her. Mm-hmm. But I know that certainly is true, without question. 1-866-823-1077 is our number. And I believe we have Josh Ritter on the line. Josh, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Ken here along with Lynn, and it is great to have you with us. Where are you calling in from today?
I'm calling in from Brooklyn.
From Brooklyn?
From sunny Brooklyn.
I love Brooklyn. In fact, I have a daughter that lives in Brooklyn.
Oh, really?
I do. And she loves it there. She's a New Hampshire native, but lives in Brooklyn now and loves it in Brooklyn. So why Brooklyn for you?
Well, I met a girl,
It's always the reason, right? Very true. Well, I know you're busy. Your popularity is gaining by the day, Josh, and I know you have an engagement for Thursday, October 13th. It's a ways off, but and we'll talk about that at the Capitol Center for the Arts, a beautiful theater in downtown Concord, New Hampshire. But you play quite a bit in the New England area.
Yeah, I kind of got my start in and around the Boston kind of folk scene in the early 2000s, and so I got to play. Although I made a goal that I'd play as many places around my little apartment there in Boston as I could, and I actually made part of my first record in Portsmouth.
Very nice, very nice. And that was your first one, but now you have 8, right? To your credit.
Yeah, 8 records on. I'm still having fun.
Well, that's the important thing, right?
It really is. It's like I think that in order to do anything well, you have to first entertain yourself,
That's right. I think you're absolutely. That's the way I look at my radio show here. If I'm entertained, I'm happy, right?
That's great. Yeah, totally.
we try to entertain the others as well and educate as best we can. Now, tell us a little bit about your style. You said you got started in the folk scene in Boston a number of years ago, and so what can people expect when they see Josh Ritter in Concord on October 13th?
Well, I think what I'd like is for them to see like a show that is like intimate and quiet at times and loud at others. I really like that. I always really like a show that feels like a one long story, and I'll be playing mostly on my own, which is a way that I first started and it's so comfortable to me. I'm really just excited to play. I've heard such good things about the venue.
Well, it is. It's an incredible venue, and I know you'll be very excited to play there. And I understand you play quite a few instruments.
Well, I try and play guitar, and everything else I play like Frankenstein. So my piano playing is monstrous, but I really like plunking on whatever's around.
But Frankenstein can also be electrifying, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
On occasion, it can really turn it on.
So you said you met a girl. Might we hear some songs based on that if things work out?
Yeah, they're going pretty great. We have a 3.5-year-old, and although I don't write, I think, autobiographical songs, I try not to. There's portions of life that can't help but sink in and come out in the music. So I think no matter what, she's always in there, and family and the people I've met.
Singer-songwriter Josh Ritter is with us, calling in today from beautiful Brooklyn, New York. And I hope it's a little cooler down there than it has been. I know it's been very hot down there, as it has been here. But today we're getting a little break in that weather. Yeah,
yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful here.
Yeah, as it is here today. Very, very, very nice. Now, your 8th full-length album is called Sermon on the Rocks. And in doing the extensive research I did before the program, I find that you wrote the album on the back porch, looking at an apple tree and alternating between coffee, bourbon, and ice water.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good combination.
It's a beautiful combination. It was writing the record was unlike sometimes sometimes you really have to struggle. Where writing a Sermon on the Rocks was just a complete joy. The songs came very clearly, and they came with a real sense of fun. It was such a pleasure to write.
You know what? I think after today, I'm going to start doing my radio show like that. A combination of ice water, coffee, and bourbon.
I could speak highly for it.
Well, it worked for you. It might work for me, too. Who knows?
Josh, I read an article in the Huffington Post where the author said, "I feel glad to be breathing the same oxygen as the musician who made Sermon on the Rocks." How does it make you feel when you read stuff like that?
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, obviously very touched. It's really cool when kind of the things are received in the spirit that they're offered. You know what I mean? And so that's really beautiful. I'm honored.
Who are some of your musical influences?
Oh, all over the map. I don't think there's music out there that I dislike. And there's so much to be learned and thought about from so many different types of music. My first real introduction to what I do now is Johnny Cash and Bob Dylan, and certainly they're kind of my abiding touchstones for it makes me work hard, and it makes me really take my my art seriously. They've always been people who I've really respected in that sense.
So there's quite a bit of influence there from those two, anyway. Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I understand that Joan Baez has recorded a song of yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she early on in my career, she was really she took me on tour all over the world, and it's really always been so good and such an awesome person.
Well, that must have been quite an experience to tour the world with somebody with the international acclaim of Joan Baez.
Oh, it was like traveling around with with royalty.
I'm sure.
It was incredible. The food was super good.
Well, that's really the important thing, right?
Exactly.
Having fun and great food, that's the bottom line right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, that is terrific. Has your path crossed with any other superstars and like Joan?
In time, you kind of meet people here and there around, but it's and it's always like such a cool experience to meet somebody who you've listened to and looked up to, So there are lots of like people who I've really loved that I've gotten lucky enough to meet, but it's sort of it's not the cherry on top of the sundae. It's something that happens, and really the pleasure is playing music.
If you could go back and talk to the kid sitting on his bed playing the guitar and just kind of give him a taste of what life is like now, what would you tell him?
I'd tell him to never lose perspective, and that success is something that you have to you just have to be happy in your work. And if you're happy in your work, that's the real true success. There's other things that are very important, like supporting your family and elsewise. But like in your artistic work, if you can be happy, I think it's a great thing for your life. And I would tell that kid who was like so hungry for all the other things that go with music. That really just being happy in your work was the most important thing.
Would the kid have listened?
I don't think I was smart enough to I do such a poor job at listening.
Josh, you're from Moscow, Idaho, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and college town, but you didn't.
Yeah.
You went to school in Ohio at Oberlin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went to as freaky a school as I could find, and it was a great time, and it led me it was the time when I really discovered music and went deep and just and really started to come to terms with the idea that I was going to do this for my life and not go on to try and be a scientist or something like that.
But you did, as I understand it, go to school at Oberlin to study neuroscience.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and I got a little ways into it and realized that unless I somehow learned organic chemistry, I probably wasn't going to be a scientist, a neuroscientist. So early on, I was disillusioned of becoming a scientist, and I'm so glad, because I think the world is a safer place.
When with you as a musician and not a neuroscientist, huh?
Exactly.
So and then you started relatively early at the age of 21. You had your first album. You recorded on campus.
Yeah, I snuck into the little studio there with late after hours and made that record, and we only had a couple mics, so we would move them around. Someone would move them around while we were recording, while we were playing, to pick up each instrument as it was doing whatever it was doing. It was one of the we really we pieced it together, but it was only a couple of years after I'd really started playing guitar, and I'm still really proud of that record.
Well, as you should be, the first of 8.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. And I also see here that you have quite an interest in writing as well, not just writing music, but writing fiction.
Yes, yeah, I do. I think like a lot of musicians, I'm as much influenced by literature and writing, other types of writing, as I would be by music. And so I wrote a novel back in 2010, and I'm really looking forward to doing another one soon.
Oh, outstanding. You're a multifaceted guy, Josh Ritter.
Josh, when you sit down to write, do you ever write and then think, wow, this would be really good with some music attached to it?
It's so interesting how it works. I never know sitting down what's going to happen. There might be like long-running projects I'm working on, but I don't know what the next step is ever, and especially with songs, that's the case. I could have hundreds of these little fragments and of things, and they just need the right chord, or just these chords need just the right phrase, and if they all start to match up, that's so exciting. But you never know if it's going to happen or not. I think that's what makes it such a occasionally at times a scary process, because you can spend days and nothing, and there's no fish biting. But when it happens, it's exuberant.
Have you ever put anything aside thinking, no, this isn't going to work, and then you pick it up a week, a month, a year later and go, this is a lot better than I thought?
Oh, yeah. 5 years later, 6 years later.
Wow.
There'll be something that jumps out, and it's just perfect. I can't say it's perfect, but for me, it's perfect. It works out.
I also see here that several years ago you were named one of the 100 greatest living songwriters. How did that make you feel?
It made me feel good to be on the living side.
Yeah.
There's a lot more of them on the other side, I think. But yeah, like that's really cool.
So your 300-year goal is to be on the other list?
That's right.
Well, Josh, we really look forward to your appearance in Concord at the Capitol Center for the Arts. It's still a ways off, October 13th, but I do believe that people should start thinking about tickets, because I know it's going to be a huge crowd that night and sold out without question. And your fame is spreading by the moment, especially having been on this show this afternoon. But
well, thank you for having me on. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.
Well, Josh, it is our pleasure, and we certainly appreciate you taking the time out. And look forward to seeing you on October 13th at the Capitol Center for the Arts.
All right, I can't wait. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you very much, Josh.
Day.
All right, Josh Ritter, who will be at the Capitol Center October 13th. It's a Thursday at 7:30 p.m., supporting his latest album, Sermon on the Rocks. That is going to be a terrific show, Lynn, without question.
Sure will
and
be.
We're happy to say that if you would like to go, courtesy of the Capitol Center for the Arts, we have a couple of tickets right now for that October 13th show at 7:30, featuring Josh Ritter. So give us a call. We'll take caller number 3 right now, caller 3, for a pair of tickets to see Josh Ritter. And again, October 13th, 7:30. It's a Thursday night at the Capitol Center for the Arts in downtown Concord. It should be quite a show, and you can win a pair of tickets right now. Caller 3, 1-866-823-1077 is the number to call. Lynne Sabean, any final words before we have to move on here?
Well, if you're a member of the Capitol Center, or if you've bought tickets recently, keep an eye on your mailbox. We're going to be sending out a fall flyer. We are introducing shows every week, and we are very receptive to your ideas. So if there's somebody that you would like to see at the venue, give us a call at 225-1111.
So you do take input if people have suggestions?
We do. There's an awful lot of factors that go into
Yeah.
actually booking a band, but some of our best shows have resulted from our patrons.
Yeah, well, that's good to know that, if at all possible, you will try to act on the suggestions of the patrons of the arts here in Concord. Outstanding. Well, Lynne Sabean, thanks so much again. And it was fun to have Josh. Great interview. Seems like a great guy. And looking forward to the big show on October 13th.
We're looking forward to as well. And I'm looking forward to being back in a few weeks to talk to you more about other shows.
Absolutely. Lynne, thanks so much. We appreciate it.